Now that the royal wedding is over, we can get back to the real news, like whether or not caviar is supposed to be expensive. Let's look in my eyes. Look in my eyes right now. Twitter news. Twitter news is what we're going to be doing right now. Whether you like it or not, most people get their Twitter from the news and their news from the Twitter. So we're going to dive headfirst into this pile of steaming garbage. Hey, there's a good reason why caviar is so expensive. Let me tell you. So here's how you cultivate the most caviar. Firstly, you trick a fish into thinking you are a male fish. Then female fish gets courted and loved upon by you, so thusly making a ton of eggs in which you can inseminate. Next, instead of actually inseminating it, you just gather it up and sell it on the black market. The black caviar market. Heh heh, hoo hoo, hee hee. It's maniacal, but it gets the most caviar and they taste like regret and nothingness. Half of millennials say they plan to leave their job within 2 years. See, I'm a millennial too, and let me tell you, working in the back of a fast food restaurant definitely puts your life in perspective and how maybe I shouldn't die here. I worked at a call center once, and man, I spent 3 weeks there before I was like, my voice hurts, and also you're treating me like a robot. Why don't you have robots doing this? If your job entails you to read off of a script verbatim, then why don't you have robots doing it? For young adults, flexibility is prioritized over job loyalty. In Silicon Valley, there are a lot of companies where the average time on the job is less than 2 years, says Edward Stringham, or Strigham. First of all, if we're being honest, the switch jobs every 2 years life isn't true to all millennials, especially if we're talking about the New York City living. All these people don't know anything. I'll tell you what the problem is. Back in my day, we had brand loyalty. We had bosses that we were willing to work for because they loved us. They would give us raises when we worked real hard. Now we're worked to the bone and superiors wanting us to do all the work with little pay. I can't stand people like that, and that's why there's no loyalty to the brand. We're jumping all over the place. We're trying to find a millennial too that knows our situation. And once millennials get into the situation, then I think companies would be a lot better. I think they'd be a lot better with millennials on the head instead of all these boomers. Hey, but what do I know? I live in the basement of a sibling's house, at the mercy of their whimsical millennial lifestyle, filled with caviar and all sorts of other things. What kind of niche news is this? Here's why salt has disappeared from restaurant tables. And then in the background is a dead meme. Salt shakers, once ubiquitous at fancy restaurants, have vanished. No. Shakers mostly held cheap salt. The number one reason salt shakers are gone is the quality of the product they held. Chefs are control freaks, tables are too crowded with the salt shaker, it's not a good look for the table, apparently. You know, where is the people are eating too much salt on the list? You think that would be there, right? So, what did we learn today? Well, people are pretty unsalty about table salt leaving restaurants. Millennials are evil little boys and girls because they want to job hop and they have no loyalty to the company, the big, great, grand company. And we also have caviar being way too expensive because now I have to have a dowry for my fish wife. Twitter, ever the entertainer. Pew, pew.